A breaking announcement from Buckingham Palace has left the world stunned. King Charles, in a rare moment of vulnerability, confessed, "I hope I live long enough." What prompted this chilling admission? Is the monarchy facing an uncertain future? Today, we dive into the shocking details behind Charles's words, uncovering secrets that could shake the royal family to its core. Stick around. This is a story you won't believe. King Charles III's reign has been anything but predictable. Crowned in 2022 after Queen Elizabeth II's death, he stepped into a role weighed down by tradition, scrutiny, and a nation wrestling with its identity. At 74, Charles was already the oldest monarch to ascend the throne, and whispers about his health have trailed him ever since. But nothing prepared the public for his recent raw confession during a private engagement that leaked to the press. "I hope I live long enough." Long enough for what? To secure his legacy? To mend family rifts? Or to prepare Prince William for a throne that might come sooner than expected? Let's set the scene. It was a quiet gathering at Sandringham, one of the royal family's private estates. Charles was meeting with close aides and a few trusted confidants. The mood was somber. Insiders say he'd been reflecting on his mother's reign and the challenges he's faced. Out of nowhere, he dropped the bombshell. Those in the room froze. One aide reportedly scribbled it down, and within hours, the quote was racing across headlines worldwide. Why would a king, surrounded by wealth and power, sound so uncertain? To understand, we need to peel back the layers of Charles's life and reign. Charles has always been a man caught between duty and desire. As Prince of Wales, he waited decades in his mother's shadow, enduring public criticism and personal scandals. His marriage to Princess Diana captivated the world, but crumbled under infidelity and media pressure. The tragic loss of Diana in 1997 left scars that still linger, with many blaming Charles for her unhappiness. His eventual marriage to Camilla, now queen consort, stirred controversy, though public opinion has softened over time. Through it all, Charles carved out a niche as an environmentalist and philanthropist, championing causes like organic farming and youth empowerment. But as king, those passions have taken a backseat to the demands of the crown. Now 2 years into his reign, the pressure is unrelenting. The monarchy's relevance is under fire. Younger generations question its cost, $86 million annually, according to recent estimates, while republics like Australia push to ditch the crown entirely. Charles has tried to modernize, slimming down the working royals and opening palace doors to the public. But every move is dissected. When he scaled back the 2024 Commonwealth tour due to health concerns, rumors exploded. Was it just fatigue, or something more serious? The palace's vague statements didn't help, fueling speculation that Charles might be hiding a diagnosis. That brings us back to his haunting words. "I hope I live long enough" isn't just a passing comment. It's a window into a king grappling with mortality. Sources close to the palace say Charles is hyper-aware of his age. At 76, he's outlived his mother's reign at her coronation, but knows he can't match her 70 years on the throne. Insiders claim he's desperate to cement his legacy before time runs out. But what does that legacy look like? Some believe he's focused on environmental reform, pushing for global climate, action through royal influence. Others say it's about family, specifically repairing the fractured bonds with his sons, William and Harry. Let's talk about the family drama, because it's impossible to ignore. The rift between Charles and Prince Harry has dominated headlines for years. Harry's 2020 exit from royal duties, dubbed Megxit, blindsided the family. His memoir, Spare, aired grievances about Charles's parenting and Camilla's role, painting a picture of a distant father. Charles, reportedly hurt, has kept communication minimal. Meanwhile, Prince William, the heir, is under immense strain. With Kate Middleton's own health challenges in 2024, she underwent surgery for a non-cancerous condition. William's juggling fatherhood, royal duties, and preparing for a crown he might inherit sooner than planned. Charles knows the clock is ticking, not just for him but for the monarchy's stability. Health is the elephant in the room. The palace has never confirmed a specific illness, but Charles's appearance tells a story. He's looked gaunt at recent engagements, and his hands, often swollen, have sparked online theories about heart or kidney issues. Medical experts, speaking anonymously, say such symptoms could point to chronic conditions common in older age, nothing terminal, but enough to slow him down. The 2023 Commonwealth Tour, cut short after a grueling Asia leg, was a wake-up call. Charles reportedly told aides he can't keep up like he used to. That vulnerability clashes with the monarchy's stiff upper lip ethos, making his public admission even more jarring. What makes this moment so gripping is its rarity. Monarchs don't admit weakness. Queen Elizabeth II, even in her 90s, projected unshakable strength. Charles, by contrast, seems human, flawed, reflective, and painfully aware of time slipping away. Some see it as a misstep, a crack in the royal facade. Others call it brave, a sign he's rewriting the rules. Either way, it sparked a global conversation. On platforms like X, reactions range from sympathy, he's carrying so much at his age, to cynicism, poor guy, crying into his gold crown. The divide reflects a broader truth. The monarchy is a lightning rod for emotion, and Charles is at its center. Let's zoom out to the bigger picture. The monarchy's survival hinges on public goodwill, and Charles knows it. His reign coincides with a turbulent era, economic strain, political division, and a post-Brexit identity crisis. He's tried to bridge gaps, visiting diverse communities and championing inclusivity. But missteps, like the 2023 Cash for Honors scandal involving a Saudi donor, have hurt his credibility. The public's trust is fragile, and Charles's health scare, or perceived health scare, raises stakes. If he steps down or passes suddenly, William inherits a throne under scrutiny, with Harry's shadow looming and no clear role for younger royals like George, Charlotte, or Louis. Now, let's explore what long enough might mean. Palace. Insiders hint Charles has a mental checklist. First, stabilizing the monarchy's image. He's pushed for transparency, like publishing royal accounts online, though critics call it performative. Second, ensuring William's readiness. The Prince of Wales has taken on more duties, from state banquets to overseas tours, but he's stretched thin. Third, there's the Commonwealth. Charles sees it as his mother's legacy and wants to preserve it, despite growing republicanism in nations like Jamaica. Finally, there's the personal side, reaching out to Harry, though reconciliation seems distant. Each goal feels like a race against time. The public's reaction to Charles's words has been a roller coaster. In the UK, polls show mixed feelings. A 2024 YouGov survey found 62% view Charles favorably, but only 45% believe the monarchy is very relevant. Abroad, the response is warmer. Commonwealth nations like Canada and New Zealand sent messages of support after the leak. But social media is brutal. Memes mocking Charles's wealth clash with heartfelt posts wishing him well. One viral X post read, "He's human, not a robot. Let him be scared." Another quipped, "Long enough to outlive us all, probably." The noise underscores a truth. Everyone's projecting their hopes or fears onto the king. What's next? For Charles, the palace has doubled down on privacy, with courtiers deflecting health questions, but actions speak louder. Charles's 2025 schedule is lighter, fewer overseas trips, more UK-focused events. Some see it as strategic, others assign he's pacing himself. William and Kate are stepping up, hosting high-profile receptions to ease the load. Behind closed doors, Charles is reportedly reflective, spending time at Highgrove writing in his journals. Those close to him say he's not despairing, just realistic. He knows history judges kings not by their words but their deeds. The monarchy has weathered storms before. Queen Victoria's reclusiveness, Edward VIII's abdication, Diana's death. Each crisis tested the crown, yet it endured. Charles's admission feels different, though. It's not a scandal or a rebellion. It's a quiet, human plea. That rawness resonates in a world craving authenticity, but it also risks exposing cracks. If Charles falters, the narrative shifts to William, who's respected but untested as a king. And beyond him, a generation of royals growing up in a digital age where every move is a headline. As we dig deeper, consider the historical context. Monarchs facing mortality isn't new. George III's madness, Victoria's mourning, but Charles's openness is. He's not hiding behind protocol. and that's both his strength and vulnerability. Compare it to Elizabeth II, who never wavered publicly, even during crises like the 1992 Annus Horribilis. Charles's candor could redefine kingship, making it more relatable, or it could backfire, inviting pity over respect. The tightrope he walks is razor thin. Let's pivot to the global stage. Charles's health and reign ripple beyond Britain. The Commonwealth, spanning 56 nations, looks to him as a symbolic head. His 2023 tour, though cut short, reinforced ties in places like Kenya, where he addressed colonial legacies head-on. But Republican movements are gaining ground. Barbados ditched the monarchy in 2021, and others may follow. Charles's admission could weaken his clout. A frail king struggles to inspire unity. Yet his environmental advocacy, decades ahead of its time, gives him leverage. World leaders from Biden to Modi respect his climate work, which could outlast his reign. Back to the family. Harry's absence looms large. Sources say Charles wants to see his grandchildren, Archie and Lilibet, but Meghan's reluctance and Harry's distrust make it unlikely. William, meanwhile, is Charles's rock, but not without tension. The brothers' feud burdens Charles, who feels caught in the middle. Kate's recovery has eased some strain, but the Wales' focus is their kids, not royal drama. Charles's hope to live long enough might include healing these wounds, but time's not on his side. The public's fascination with Charles's words ties into a broader obsession with royalty. Shows like The Crown and books like Spare feed a hunger for palace secrets. But reality is messier than fiction. Charles isn't a character. He's a man navigating grief, duty, and a ticking clock. His admission cuts through the pomp, reminding us even kings face the same fears we do. That universality is why the stories gripped millions, from London to Los Angeles. What's the palace doing to manage the fallout? Damage control is subtle, but deliberate. Charles' next appearances are carefully chosen community visits, charity events to Project Vitality. Camilla's taken a bigger role, charming crowds with her wit. The narrative is clear: the monarchy's fine, Charles is fine. But leaks like this don't happen by accident. Was it a rogue aide, or a calculated move to humanize him? Theories swirl, with some pointing to rival factions within the palace. The truth? We may never know. Let's circle back to the quote itself. I hope I live long enough. It's not just about health, it's about purpose. Charles spent his life waiting, and now, as king, he's running out of runway. His environmental work, his family, his nation, all hang in the balance. The irony is, his candor might be his greatest legacy. By showing vulnerability, he's challenged the monarchy's mystique, for better or worse. Will it strengthen the crown or expose its fragility? That's the question haunting Buckingham Palace. As we wrap this up, picture Charles at Sandringham, alone with his thoughts. The weight of the crown, the ghosts of his past, the future of his sons, all swirling. His words echo not just for him, but for a monarchy at a crossroads. And then a phone rings. It's William, with news that could change everything. What did he say? That's a story for another day. The phone call from William hangs in the air, like a storm cloud over Buckingham Palace. What could he have said to shift the entire narrative? Was it about his readiness to step up, a family reconciliation, or something far more unexpected? The royal family is no stranger to secrets, and this moment feels like the edge of a revelation that could redefine King Charles's reign. Let's dive deeper into what might be unfolding behind those gilded doors. Charles's admission, I hope I live long enough, already cracked open a door to his psyche, but William's role in this saga is just as critical. As the Prince of Wales, he's not just the heir. He's the bridge between Charles's traditional monarchy and a future that's increasingly uncertain. At 42, William carries the weight of expectation, polished, dutiful, yet fiercely protective of his family's privacy. Sources say he's been more involved in Charles's decisions lately, from scaling back royal engagements to shaping the monarchy's public face. But involvement doesn't mean agreement. Whispers from the palace suggest William has his own vision, one that might clash with his father's. Let's unpack William's perspective. Unlike Charles, who grew up in the shadow of a stoic queen, William was shaped by Diana's warmth and the media's relentless gaze. Her death in 1997 left him guarded, wary of the institution that failed to protect her. He's seen the monarchy's flaws up close, its rigidity, its scandals, its struggle to stay relevant. Insiders claim William wants a leaner, more modern crown, one that prioritizes charity and connection over pomp. Charles, while progressive in his own way, clings to tradition, from elaborate ceremonies to the Commonwealth's symbolic weight. Could William's call have been a push for change, a signal he's ready to steer the ship, or maybe it's personal? Their rift with Harry remains a wound that won't heal. William, like Charles, feels betrayed by Harry's public attacks, interviews, Netflix specials, that memoir. But unlike Charles, who's kept a cautious distance, William's stance is colder. Sources say he's focused on protecting Kate and their children from the fallout. Yet, there's chatter of a thaw. A cryptic X post from a royal watcher last week hinted at back-channel talks between the brothers, possibly mediated by Charles. If William's call was about Harry, say, an olive branch or a plea Tauronite, it could explain the urgency. Charles, desperate to mend his family, might see this as his last great mission. Then there's Kate. Her health scare in 2024 rattled the Waleses, but her recovery has been a quiet triumph. She's back to public duties, radiating calm at charity, events, and school visits. Behind the scenes, she's William's anchor, advising him on everything from media strategy to parenting. Some speculate she's also a buffer between father and son, softening William's frustration with Charles's slower pace. If William's news involves Kate, perhaps a bold new initiative or even a health update, it could shift the royal dynamic, giving Charles either relief or added pressure. Let's not ignore the health angle. Charles's words screamed mortality, and William's call might tie directly to it. The king's lighter schedule, his gaunt appearance, those swollen hands, they've fueled endless theories. A recent report on X claimed Charles was seen leaving a London clinic, though no outlet confirmed it. If William knows something the public doesn't, a diagnosis, a timeline, it would explain the timing. Preparing for kingship is no small task, and William's already stretched thin. Transition planning, while morbid, is practical. The palace learned from Elizabeth II's sudden decline. They won't be caught off guard again. Now let's widen the lens. The monarchy isn't just Charles and William, it's a sprawling institution facing existential questions. Republican sentiment is creeping up, not just in the Commonwealth, but in Britain itself. A 2025 poll showed 30% of Brits want the monarchy abolished, the highest in decades. Charles's vulnerability, while humanizing, risks feeding that fire. William, more popular than his father, could stabilize things, but he's not immune to criticism. His push for mental health advocacy and environmental causes resonates, yet some call him aloof, too privileged to connect. Whatever William said on that call, it's likely tied to this bigger fight, keeping the crown relevant. What about the Commonwealth? Charles sees it as his mother's legacy, a 56-nation network spanning 2.5 billion people. But cracks are showing. Jamaica's eyeing a referendum to go fully Republican, and Australia's new government is openly skeptical of royalties. William's less sentimental. He's hinted at a looser Commonwealth, more partnership than monarchy. If his call was about a bold move, like rethinking the king's role as head, it could be a game changer. Charles might resist, fearing it unravels Elizabeth's work, but William's pragmatism could win out. Back to the family drama, because it's the heartbeat of this story. Harry's silence since Charles's admission is deafening. No statement, no X posts, nothing. Is he staying out of respect, or because he's frozen out? Meghan's influence looms large. She's reportedly wary of re-entering the royal orbit. Yet Charles's longing to see Archie and Lilibet is an open secret. A wild card scenario. What if William's call was about a secret summit? Picture it. Charles, William, Harry, no cameras, just a room and raw honesty. It's a long shot. But the public would eat it up, and it'd give Charles a personal win to chase. The palace's response to all this is textbook. They've ramped up Charles's visibility, think garden parties, medal ceremonies, to counter the frail king narrative. Camilla's charm offensive is in overdrive, and she's good at it, disarming critics with humor. William and Kate's polished appearances, meanwhile, scream stability. But the machine can't hide everything. Leaks keep slipping. First Charles is us, quote, now whispers of William's call. Someone's talking, and that's a problem. Is it disgruntled staff, or a calculated play to control the story? The royal game of chess is ruthless. Let's talk legacy again. Charles's environmental work, decades of tree planting, climate summits, sustainable farming, could outshine his reign. He's pushed for net zero palaces, a flex no other monarch can claim. But legacy needs time, and time's what he's bargaining for. William shares the green passion, but his focus is tech. Think AI for conservation, not organic gardens. If their visions diverge, that call might have been a reckoning, a father and son hashing out the monarchy's soul. Public reaction keeps evolving. On X, the mood swings from Charles deserves peace to abolish it all. A viral thread broke down his reign's highs and lows, racking up thousands of shares. Fans praise his candor. Haters call it a pity party. William's caught in the crossfire. Some see him as the future, others as Charles 2.0. Kate's the wild card, her approval ratings soaring past both. The public's obsession mirrors a soap opera, and Charles's admission is the season finale twist. What's the endgame? Charles can't outrun biology, but he can shape the narrative. His next moves, more openness, more delegation, will set the tone. William's call, whatever it was, is a pivot point. Was it a warning? A plan? A plea? The palace walls hold the truth, but they're starting to crack. Picture Charles at his desk, penning another journal entry, the weight of history on his shoulders. Then another call comes through. This time it's Harry. What does he want?